Wonderful to have you guys. This is Kim Claver, and that's Vic Link, my partner in crime over there. And what I'm going to do is show you today something about the money that a lot of people really don't know about the money, and is one of the reasons that they don't make as much as they wish they were making, as they could make. And so the Momo is both about what you have to do to make money, and also what doesn't make money that people tell you to do. That's a very big problem. I don't know how many of you know that, but there's more that they tell you that you should do that does not make money than what they tell you to do that does make money. That's kind of weird, right? Because wouldn't you say you want to make money up to tell me what to do, and then the thing they tell you to do doesn't actually make money. In fact, it makes a lot of trouble for a lot of people. So, okay, you ready to get cooking here? Okay, the Momo. I'm going to show you what you're going to earn, and then what we'll do is I'm going to tell you also where money does not come from. Okay, and then we're going to do a little exercise. Does everybody have a pad of paper and a calculator? Is there anybody here who says things like, oh, I don't know math and I don't know the money? Because that'll predict your utter failure in business. The person who knows the most about the money, how it works and where it comes from, is usually likely to be somebody who's very, very powerful. And you'll see what I mean. I don't mean that they can do the accounting, although they should be able to. John Rockefeller said his greatest skill was that he could read numbers. He didn't get his emotions. You know, if the company wasn't making it, he didn't go, oh, poor things. Well, you know, no, he looked at the numbers, and if what was going out was more than what was coming in, he didn't buy the company or he sold it. Everything he said was based on the numbers. And if you're a business person whose job it is to do good of some kind, so that you can make more money than you spend, so you have money to buy not only your house, but maybe houses for people that you work with, donate money, give to causes, do things, you know, exert some influence. You do have to know that you're where the money comes from, so that you can do those things and not do things that cost you money. And I don't mean cost as in spend, like buy cars. Okay, you ready for that? Who's ready? All right, so what we said, what you want to earn per month in 12 months. There's a great exercise that Peter Thiel, who is one of our billionaires in America. One of the reasons he became a billionaire is because he co-founded PayPal with Elon Musk. And somebody said, okay, what do you want to earn in 10 years per month? Okay, so anybody have any, because I'm going to give you a trick he gave before we start, so you know how people think that make huge amounts of money. It all comes from here. It's not their birth. It's not their education. There are people who never finished school. Steve Jobs never finished school. His company's worth more than any other company in the world today. Elon Musk, I think he was accepted at Stanford, but he never went. So it's not credentials and all that kind of stuff. It's what's in your mind and how you think. All right, let me see some numbers for what do you want to make 10 years from now per month. Let me see some income numbers in 10 years. Remember, you put a number down, and this is now, if you put a number in and you just forget about it, then don't expect anything to happen. Probably nothing will happen. But think about a number 10 years from now per month. What would you want to be making? Got any numbers? 100,000 a month. Okay. $1 million a month. Okay. What else we got? 250,000 a month in 10 years. Yeah, 10 years. Remember, 10 years came 10 years ago. It's here today. So if you ask yourself, what'd you do 10 years ago to make this happen? How many would have a big goose egg for an answer, right? Okay, 10 years, 100K a month. Okay, good. Okay, so here's what Peter Thiel said. He told this to, the big book that Tim Ferriss wrote, which is sitting over there on my shelf. It's too far away, so I won't get it, but it's called Tools of Titans, big fat book he wrote. And he interviewed people, Tim Ferriss did. And so he said, so what's the difference between a regular person and somebody who makes billionaire status in their lifetime when you're like before 35 or 40 years old? And Peter Thiel said, okay, so let's say somebody says, in 10 years, I want to make $100,000 a month. This is his example, right? So the way normal people think about that is, well, I have a job now and I make $50,000 a year. So 10% more, 10% more. In little increments, you kind of go up. Isn't that what we're all taught? A little bit more next year, 10% more, 20% more, 30% more. You kind of go up a little bit at a time. So I said, what we do is we ask, okay, 100,000 a month in 10 years, that's the goal. What if we could do it? What would we do? How would we do it if we wanted to achieve that, but we only had 6 months? Only 6 months. So you put your pencils down and you put your stuff aside and you go. And if you didn't do it, they would come and take away your firstborn and hang him on the street. Or that you'd have a gun to your head. And what happens is a person's mind completely changes the kind of thing they think they're going to do. Because if you have to make 100 grand in 6 months, legally, earn it. Remember, because earning money means you have to do something so other people give it to you. The money doesn't come just because you say you want it. Don't I wish, right? Somebody else has to give it to you. So that means you have to do something to make their life better or promise so that they will do this. So you think about that. What would you do if you had 6 months? Would you be presenting to one person at a time? One by one? Or would you try to figure out a way to have a meeting so that you have 50 people in the room so that 10 of them might buy on the same day, like we do? Wouldn't you start thinking about things like that? How to get in front of a bigger and bigger crowd so that the 5 or 10% who are going to buy all at the same time? See how that works? So this is totally different, right? Instead of crawling along, calling one person, next person, okay? So think about this. A lot of ways to do this. It's what you think. And if you don't think right, you won't do right. That's why Steve Jobs, what's the ad? Think different. Why? Because then you do different. That's why, see? That's why people get rich and some other people don't get rich. Most people don't, because they keep thinking the same thing. Like what's on the news? Is Trump going to run? Is Biden going to run? Is, I don't know, Clinton going to run? That's not going to make you even one nickel. See? You can't think about anything you can't impact if you want to make a significant income. And those are some of the differences. It's hard, but it's how it is. All right. How much time per week are you going to give to earn this money? You said by a year from now, we take your 12 months. Somebody said they want to make, say, 10,000 a month, right? We have some 10,000 Vickies. We had 10, 20, 20,000 a month.
5s, 10s, right around there.
Okay, so let's say 10,000 a month. How many of you are at 10,000 a month right now? How close are you to 10,000 a month? Would you say you're on a scale of 1 to 10? 10, I'm there. 1, I'm just getting started. Where are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Okay, you're 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, so a lot of people are basically kind of nowhere, right? How much time are you going to commit to earn this $10,000 a month? And right now you're nowhere. For the next year, what would you commit that you will give without TV, without Facebook, without any distraction? How much time would you give per week? Okay, per day, per week. You can say per week. It's better if you do something every day. What do we have for time here, Vic? What do we have? 14 hours a day?
6 days a week.
Okay, so are you doing that now? What are you spending right now, Miss Angel or Mr. Angel?
And Leslie's doing 4 hours a day right now.
Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just the thing is, if you're not, most people don't spend any time because they feel like they don't know what to do and they don't like what they have to do, so they don't want to do it. They don't want to get rejected, so you don't do anything. But this will not make you $10,000 a week or a month or a day or anything else. You know that, right? You got to do something. What, 10 hours a week? Okay. Well, we're going to make you an offer at the end here, some of you, and put you on a plan where you're actually going to do something. That's kind of the idea. But be aware that you're going to have to give some time in order to create something of value to offer someone else who says, oh, I want that, and I'll pay whatever you want for it. I'll pay $100 a month. I'll pay 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, right? Okay, so think about this. And what are you earning per month now? I think most of you said you're kind of, is anybody here making more than 1,000 a month in their business right now, in their network marketing business, more than $1,000 a month?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, that's kind of standard fare. That's kind of where it starts. All right, so where does the money come from? Do you think money comes from talking to people? Yes or no? Just say yes or no. Does it come from talking to people? Yes or no? Who says yes? Go fast, go fast.
Cheryl says yes.
Okay. So Cheryl, how many people have you talked to in say today or yesterday? 6. Okay. Eight.
Yeah.
Eight,
And
eight,
Cheryl,
eight people.
8, yeah.
Okay. And Cheryl, did you make any money from those 8 people? Okay. You talked to 30 people. Okay. So Cheryl talked to 30 people. Did she make any money? What does she say, folks? Look in the chat. Yes or no? And Teresa Gregory, let's see, how many people did you talk to? You got there. Hey, girl, nice to see you. She talked to some people. Did the people you talked to buy? So what's the answer to the question? Where does the money come from? Does the money come from when you talk to people? Yes or no? She talked to 30 people. She didn't make any money. Somebody else talked to 8 people. They didn't make any money. You have a lot of you have talked to people and nobody made any money. So how come you don't make any money when you talk to people? Isn't that what they tell you to do? All you have to do is talk to people. How come you guys aren't making any money? I mean, we know we're not that stupid, right? You know, we're not stupid, are we? Stephen Manuel, yeah, they have to buy. Isn't that the bummer? They have to buy. So talking to people is not enough. Are we right? What's also, Cheryl, even if you talk to the right people, if they don't buy, do you make money? Yes or no? Okay. You're monitoring that chat, right, Vic? I can't really see it. I'm having trouble with
I'm on it right now. And
How about-
Teresa, put yourself to everyone on your setting.
Yeah, we can't see. Put to everyone. Yeah. How about if you show the pay plan? You know, they used to say, show the plan, show the plan, show the plan. Does money come when you show somebody the plan? Yes or no?
Nope. Nope. Absolutely not. That's worse.
Right? I mean, does it help to show the plan? Does some people want to see the plan before they buy? Maybe. But the showing the plan, is that enough? How about making friends with people? How about that? Start relationships, make friends. You know how they tell you to do that, right? You don't know who to talk to? Oh, make new friends. Love on them, you know? How about that? Does that make you money, making friends with people? Right? No way, Cheryl, right. You're right. They're on to that. That's totally right, right? So these are things that are, you know, there's a little formula at MIT that they use, and it's called, it's necessary, maybe, and I'm not even sure that's true. It helps, but it's not enough. Necessary, but not sufficient is the scientific phrasing for that. So it's something that you do, and you want to, these things are fine to do if you want to. I mean, I wouldn't make friends with people to sell them, that's for sure. But I make friends with people after they buy. That's the order we do it. See, when people buy from us, that we know they want us to help them. So then we love on them right back. So it's 1, 2 the other way. See, because we show these things so people who resonate with us can come. And they say, yeah, I want you to help us. We are right there. You see, that's the order that we like to do things. Okay, so and you can decide that. So making friends with people. So these things, you can do these things, but they don't guarantee you money. Do you see that? Have you got it? Say yes. Let me get this.
Lots of yeses.
Okay, so when you sign up somebody new, are you going to tell them all you have to do is talk to people? All you have to do is show the plan. All you have to do is make friends. You see, will you say that to people knowing that the money does not directly come from doing that? Yes or no? Are you going to keep doing that? So you don't want to pass on stuff that you know isn't true for yourself, right? All right. So what has to happen for you to get paid Momo into your bank account? What has to happen? Who wants to learn how to count their money and multiply your money? All right. Are you ready? Let's go. Really? Yeah, Steve, right? All right. This is called the income multiplier. It's something we learned from Frank Kern. And you need to know a little bit of math. And if you want to own a business and run a business, you will be able, you're going to need to know these things I'm telling you right here. So let's say that you get an order. Let's say that we talk about you get a customer order of some kind. And when you get a customer order, let's say there are some companies that have customer plans and they pay like $150 a month. Does that sound reasonable to you? Right, about $150 a month. And there might be an initial order of like, I don't know, $3,000 or $2,000 or $1,500 or $500, that initial order, right? But then there's a monthly. So if we're talking about a monthly order, you get somebody on your product or your service, and let's say that it's $100 a month that they have to pay the company. Are you with me? Pretend $100 a month. Say yes. Okay, so how much of that do you earn? Now, I know for somebody that have a binary, you need to flush. You're gonna have it run on two sides. I know that for the unilevel and for the breakaways, there are certain conditions that you need to meet in order for you to be paid. But let's pretend that you met them. If you got an order and the customer pays the company $100, not retail, but auto ship, right? Preferred customer. About how much would you earn on it? Dollars.
16
So,
first.
okay. So we have somebody who says, yeah, so you don't want to give me PVs and all that. I want to know dollars. Okay. So somebody says $16. So that would be about 16% off the top, right? What other numbers do we have on about $100?
$10.
What do you got, Vic? What do you have?
$10.
Okay.
And then there's another for 35.
Okay. Remember, we're not talking retail onesies. We're talking about monthly orders on about $100. Okay. US dollars, what we're talking about here. What else?
Those
What
are the
else you
three
got?
so far. That's it so far.
Okay. So shall we take an average of, say, on a $100 order? Shall we pretend you earn a $20? Let's see here. What have you got, Cheryl? $35. That's on 150 to 35. Okay. So what percent is that? Let's say that it's 10%. Should we do that?
Yeah.
10%. Okay. So on $100, we're going to say it's 10%. So it would be $10. Okay. We're going to earn here $10, 10%. Okay. Tell me yes, you understand this. Let's just say
Yes.
$10, right? And remember, when you recruit somebody, say you recruit somebody in, like, I don't know, Vicky or me or somebody else, we would get that initial order, whatever the big one is, most likely. And so you might get a one-time bonus. We understand that. But if we had to stay, it's not really legal to require this in America with the FTC, but companies do it anyway. If you have to maintain a monthly purchase yourself of, say, $100, you would earn, approximately $10 on that order. And the reason it's so little, when you think about, affiliate marketing where they get $50 maybe on a $100 order, they earn 50%, is because our business pays in levels. So there are 4 or 5 people who make $10. You see that? Most companies pay out 50 to 60% of everything. So $10 may not look like much, but remember, this is your orders for people that you bring in, which is all we can count on for sure. But should you bring in somebody who also does this, you also make $10 on the others. You see that? Everybody got that? All right. So $10. All right. So here's the next part. Are you ready with this? Everybody with me? This is going to get harder now. We're going to 3rd grade math. You ready? All right. Let's say if you did not get paid until after they got the results, right, that you promised them. Let's talk about the product or the service or even the money. What are 3 traits that they must have before you would agree to get them the product and agree that you will not be paid until after they get the results that you promised them? So let's say that you have a product and it takes away, I don't know, a product that really makes your brain function super duper. And the way you would know that is that you can start to learn speed reading. In 3 weeks, you're going to be speed reading a book in an hour instead of reading a book in a week. Pretend, right? So you're not going to get paid until after they get those results, which means that the person has to do whatever it is that you're saying, to take this product so many times and do all these things. And then say by a week or 2 or 3, they should be able to speed read a book. Okay. Are you with me? All right. What are 3 traits that you would want your prospective customer or client to have, whether it's for the money or the business, if you did not get paid until after they got the results that you promised that they would get? All right, let me see. What are the traits? What would you want them to be like? People who what?
Stephen says that they have discipline. Maybe they follow through.
Okay, so we've got discipline. Okay, perfect. And you'd want to make sure they have that, so you're not giving out $100,000 certificate of deposit to somebody, you know, right? They have to have discipline. What else?
Anastasia says diligent, engaged, and thorough. Diligent, engaged, thorough. And
Okay.
Anastasia, set your settings to everyone so we can see your chat.
Anastasia, to see where to do that?
Just go click the little 2 button down there in the bottom, little arrow down, and put it on everyone. There you go.
Okay, what else? They'd have to be truly interested. Well, how would you measure that?
Motivated.
How would you measure that? So you have to figure out what kind of people, if you have to hand over all this stuff or do all this work and you don't get paid until they get the results, how much work would you put into them? How much would you give them free of your product and service and whatever you would do?
Consistent. Cheryl says consistent.
Got it. Yeah, right. Right. You want to be consistent, right?
Stephen says
And motivated.
Committed
Okay.
to getting the results they are after. So committed.
So would this change a little bit if you didn't get paid till after somebody that you're trying to recruit for a customer or the business? If you didn't get paid till after they got the results, would you make any changes in the way you recruit? Yes or no? Right?
So far, yes. With an
Completely
exclamation.
different, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Huge
Just
difference.
want to think about this. That's how we always think about anybody. Right? Because otherwise they're not going to do anything. And what good is a business where nobody's going to do anything? Right? If you want a business that works, the customers have to be committed, and not because they're committed to you, but there are better ways to get people, find people who are committed to the overall cause of, say, health without drugs, not just to make a quick buck, because we all know what happens to those people. They all drop out. Okay, so you got this, right? Start thinking about who you'd recruit and how you would position what you have when you're trying to get people to come in if you didn't get paid till after they got the results. Are you with me? So let's do this here. Look at on the left here. What are 3 things that you have to do for them to get the results? Okay. What are 3 things that you have to do as the person who's responsible for getting their order, whether they go online and order from you over the phone or whatever it is, the order for the product or the service, right? What are 3 things that you have to do for them to be able to get the results? What are you doing for them? Remember, people trade value for value. So you want their money, and okay, the company's going to send some product. What do you have to do here in order for them to get results? Follow up. Okay. Okay.
Training. And then Cheryl says have a technique that is duplicatable.
What does that mean? What do you mean by that? Right. What is something? Teach them how. That's very good. Right. Teach them how to use the product. This is very important.
So Cheryl's duplicatable, she also responds easily able to follow no matter their personality. Something easy to follow.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's a really tricky thing, this business about something easy to follow, because just because a person says, okay, we're going to run around the track, right? You have a running track, And I can say, okay, Vicki, you line up, and I'm going to line up, and you're going to line up. We all can, and everybody on the call, we get on the track, right? We all can probably kind of jog and get around the whole track, right? But we're all going to get very different results. Some of us are going to be really fast. Some of us are pretty slow. Some of us aren't going to finish. So yeah, we can all, you can say to somebody here, start this process, but whether they do it, how well they do it, how fast they do it, how energized they are for it, how committed they are. You see, that means you're going to get different results, even though they all kind of know they should talk to people. Do you see what I mean? So the idea of duplication sounds really good, and they've used it for years, but duplication was never meant for behavior. It was meant that if your pay plan is a binary, you've got to have two positions, two people that occupy positions on two sides of the binary who are doing business. And if you don't have that, and everybody knows what to do, I'm supposed to get two people. Most people who sign up in a binary program don't get any people. Did you know that? Most people who sign up in network marketing sign up 1.1 person. That's not enough to be a binary. So I know what you want to say. You want to give them a path, right, to run on. Just know that the path itself is never enough. That's why the whole idea of, I want something that duplicates, sure, but if nobody does it, who cares? If they do it half-assed, who cares? Right? If they do it with no energy, who cares? If they have no life force, who's going to listen to them? Right? Does that make sense? So you want to find people, and I'll show you at the end here. One of the things we look for, people that are committed to that particular cause already, so that you don't have to get them all excited about doing stuff, because having a path to run on doesn't mean they're going to do it. Right, Cheryl? Doesn't mean they're going to do it, and doesn't mean they're going to do it well. Right, because we do experimental teams every 4 or 5 years, and we're starting up another one, and we're looking for very specific people. There is not any criterion on the list that we have that for people who are looking to make big money. It's not even on the list. Why? Because money comes as a byproduct of doing good things for people. That's why. If money were a goal, I wouldn't be part of it. This doesn't mean we don't have money. It doesn't mean you don't deserve it and that you don't get it. It's just never the primary goal, because it never motivates people. The greatest people in the world, Elon Musk, he doesn't even care about his stock. He's the richest man in the world. Steve Jobs, none of them. There's something else, and once you determine why you're doing it, you want to find people who believe in that as well, who go the distance because they care about that type of life. They want to do that. Do you see what I'm saying? Because then when they see a path to run on, and they know that if they run this path, they're going to achieve, women's rights, or abuse children, or they're going to be able to help people so that they're so healthy when somebody else has a virus, they don't have to worry that they're going to die next week. Those kinds of things, right? And then the path and the work is not easy, but you don't think about it. When you really want to run up that mountain, it isn't until you get up to the top that you see, oh my gosh, I got all these brambles and all this stuff is stuck on my pants. How many of you have experienced that? You've run up a hill, up a mountain, even, just 1,000 feet. And you get to the top and you go, oh, I'm full of brambles and I didn't even notice. Who has ever experienced that? Anybody? It's that. If all you notice on your hike are the brambles and the weight of your backpack, how much do you really enjoy hiking? Or how much do you want to go rescue the kid at the top of the hill, right? So think about those things, you see. All right, so teach them how to use the product. What a third thing, Vicki, what's the third thing we've got? What are 3 things you have to do for them to get results?
Let's see what else.
Anything else? Anything else that you guys need to do?
Yeah, unless I see somebody. Oh, here, let's see.
The benefit of the product?
Benefit of the product.
Yeah, but that's something that you have to do. Let's say that at the end of this, we're going to offer some of you a program that we have to help you. So one of the things that we have to do for you to show you how to get results is show you how to learn to attract the people who are likely to want what you have. So we have a little attractor formula that we're going to give you. And we have created this for ourselves, and we're going to do it and give it to you so you can use it so that when you open your mouth, you can attract the people who are already committed to the kind of thing that you're doing, the kind of life, the kind of cause, the kind of, I want to do it without drugs. I want to do it without having to be vaccinated or whatever you want. It's a point of view. So we give you that. You see, that's what we have to do for you to help you pull off a program where you can be bringing in 10, 15 people a week. Do you see that? So that's the benefit of our program. So you want to help, this is what you want to think about. All right, here's the last one. Now it's time to count the money. Ready for this? Ready for this? Okay, we got it here. Number 4. How many orders do you need? Notice it's how many orders. You see this word here? Who sees this word? It's not how many people did you talk to? It's not how many times did you show the plan? How many orders? That means somebody hands over a credit card, puts it into a machine or enters it into the computer, and it's attached to you, of course. And the money usually, unless you're a coach, which is possible, if you're selling your own program, then you have your own setup like we have, for example. But when we're building experimental teams, orders that we get go to the company, right? Are you with me? It goes to the company. Say yes. And then what happens? How do you get some? Say the company, you put in an order for $100. How do you get your $10? How did that come? So everybody see how that works? What happens? How do you get your money? Has any of you ever gotten a check from the company or a deposit from the company or had money put into a wallet? Teresa, you have, haven't you? You've gotten money before from your company, right? Right? So what happens? You get an EOM or you get some kind of deposit or it goes into a wallet, right? So if I order from you, let's say, and it's $100, I would enter some credit card information or have somebody do that, right? And your company gets it and say the company is, ABC company, and they track it to you and you get $10 back in your bank account, right? With your direct deposit or your wallet or whatever they've got. Are you with me? Everybody say yes. So you get the money, you get an order from somebody, that person puts in a credit card and the money goes to the company coffers. And at the end of the week or the month, depending on when some little piece of that comes back to you into your account. Have you got it? That is how the money works. And you have to assume that it's only you right now because we can't guarantee that you're going to find somebody that's going to do anything. So we'll pretend we're all there is. It's on us. We own the whole thing right now. That's the best way to build. Why? Because you can count on yourself. You can't count on anybody else. Now, if you get somebody good like Vicky, ooh, look out. But until we know that, we will be responsible. We'll have extreme ownership of our income. Are we agreed? Extreme ownership? Who wants it? Okay. So how many orders do you need per month to earn your target revenue? We said we're going to earn $10 per order. Remember that? We had that. Remember we're talking about a year. Okay. So you're going to say order $10 and just pretend it's you. $10 per order because we are earning about 10% on the orders that we bring in. All right. How many orders do you need? So let's pick a number. Let's say that we have, so let's say somebody said they want to make 5,000 a month, right? Okay. So, and how much do we make per order? So we're going to divide it by $10 per order, right? $10 per order. Are you with me? Cheryl, you are fast, baby. Right? So how many orders do we need?
500, right, Cheryl?
Exactly. 500 customers, 500 orders. This is an average. So you might have some people who order $1,500 worth, right? And you might have some people who order $50, or you have people sign up who don't order anything. We had one girl some years ago and she said, oh my gosh, I've signed up, I don't know, 84 people. I said, great. So how much have you made? Oh, well, nothing yet. So, well, how how come? I mean, why would you care that you signed up 84 people if you didn't make any money? And she says, oh, well, they all came in on the, just looky-loo. How much money do you make if you get 84 people signed up and all they do is fill out the application? How much do you make? 200 people sign up in one day and nobody bought anything.
Nada.
All right. All right. So having 100 people, none of whom do anything, how good is that for your income? Zip. Okay. All right. So this is, so you can see in 10 years or in a year, if you have 500 people ordering from the company at $100 a month, that's about, what is it? $500,000? No, $50,000. 500 orders times $10 a month. Okay. So how much money is that? Because typically, I mean, just for your information, typically in network marketing companies, the percentages that are paid down when you have an organization like we like to build is usually between 3 and 5% of all the volume that they pay you on. So on a binary, they max out the centers usually at 25 grand a week. That's typical for them. For the breakaway plan, they have either levels or generations that they pay on, but there's at some point a limit, to how far that goes down. And you normally earn between 3 and 5% of all the volume in your organization. Okay, so if you have, say, 500 orders, let me just get the calculator out. Who's got a calculator? Because you should be able to do this kind of math. You should know what that is. So 500 orders times $100 is $50,000. So if you do $50,000 in business per month, now this is dollars. In most cases, they don't pay you in dollars. They pay you in points. And the reason they do that is to save money. So you will discover, for example, that if you have a $100 order, they only pay you on 70 points or 80 points. Very standard. It started, I don't know, 15 years ago. It's horrible practice, but it saves them money. And it allows you to say that you make, say, 10% or 20%, but you don't really make it on the order that the person places. Do you understand me? Is everybody clear about this? When they say, well, we have so much BV and we make 30% on 100 BV, we make 30% on our business. Well, you really don't, because if you get an order of $100, but they pay you 30% of the BV or the PV or whatever they call it, the points, right? And that is 70 cents on the dollar, you're getting 30% of 70 cents on the dollar. Do you understand that? If you don't pay attention to this, your checks will never be the size that you expect. Just know it going in. That's the way it is. Right? Have you got this? All right. So basically you're doing, somebody had it. So you're doing, if you do $50,000 in dollar business, then you were likely on 10%, you're going to earn about $5,000 a month. Okay. Now, normally you won't earn this much because of the BV, but you get the idea here, right? You want to get a certain number of orders. So if you want to get $10,000 a month, how many orders do you need? Instead of 500, how many do you need? Twice as many. How many? You need 1,000 orders. If you want $100,000 in business, what do you need? 10,000 orders. So do you have some idea here that you earn a percentage of all the monies that are earned? In real estate, for example, if you sell a building, if you sell a house for 200,000, the commission on average, let's say, is 5%, because you get 4%, 5%, 6%, 7% of the first 100, second 100, third 100. Those in real estate, you understand. So just say 5%. So if you sell a little house for 200 grand here, that's a dog house in Southern California, and 5%, if you were the only agent buying and selling, you'd earn 5% of the closing price of $200,000, right? Which would be 10 grand. But usually there's one agent for the seller, one agent for the buyer. So you split it between the brokerage houses. So the 5%, which is say 10,000, 500 goes to one brokerage house, 5,000 goes to the other house. Are you with me? That's how the money works. And then if within the brokerage house, there was an agent and the split with the brokerage house is 50-50, then the 10,000 is split 50% to one house, 50% to the other house. So each house gets 5 grand. Are you with me? And then within that each house, if there's another agent, The broker gets half of it, depending on the split they've got between themselves and the agent. That usually depends on how much money the agent has made up until then that year. You know, the less they do, the bigger they have to pay because they're not trained, right? So everybody gets $2,500. You see how that works? So everything we earn in business, in this type of business, is a percent of the business that we bring in, not how many people we talk to, not how many times you show the plan. You can do those things, but the money doesn't come from that. The money comes from bringing in the orders. So why not just talk to people that are most likely to want to buy in the first place? This is what just amazes me, that people don't want to do that. Why would you want to talk to everybody when you know most everybody says no? Why? Why would you do that? What do you think, Teresa? You think people just want to suffer? I'll tell you. Okay, have you got this figured out? This is called the income multiplier. What do you earn per order? Now, some of you are coaches and you might earn 10,000 per order, or 20,000 or 5,000. What do you have? If they don't get paid, you don't get paid till after they get results. What are 3 characteristics you want? You're going to see at the end, because we're going to do this for you. Then what are 3 things we have to do to get the results? I want to show you 5 that we do for you to help you get the results that you want. And how many orders do we need per month? How many clients do we need that we think we can service profitably? We don't want 10,000. We can't do that. It's way too, you know, we're pretty happy with 20 of them, 30 of them a month. That's as much probably as we want to do. Because it takes, you know, mind shift work. It's very difficult. It's just not like going out and doing stuff. I'll tell you, you'll see. All right, we got this part. So we have a little, in fact, I'll show you right now. You want to see what the thing is here? What traits must you have? What do we have to do to help you get results? How many people here would like to see what a 4-step system is that we have? You want to just see what we have? You can say no, it doesn't matter to me. We're good to go. I wanted to show you this so you know where the money comes from. So you see where the money comes from. You've got to be able to, if you don't know that, you're screwed. You're going to talk's cheap. Yep. Talk is very cheap, doesn't do jack. You need to be independent. In this time, I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how strongly I feel that, in particular, the women, you have got to stand up and take responsibility for your own money and your own thinking and your own doing. Don't let people tell you how to think who don't have your best interest at heart. They don't. You have your best interest at heart. So start thinking about how you can be independent, and you don't need to be dependent on anybody for their permission, nothing. If you're financially independent, you are the queen bee and you can rule the roost and do what you want. You've got to figure out how to do that. We can help you with it for sure. But in all the years that I've been teaching and doing, I don't know that there's any time that's more important than now, particularly to get your health in order. So when somebody sneezes, you don't think, oh my God, I'm going to get a virus and next week I'll be dead. No, this isn't how we were made. All right, here's the deal. We have 5-step program. Number 1 at the top, look at the top. This is people who start because they're not where they want to be. Now, don't think that we have people who don't make any money and that's all there is. We have people who start in here who are making 100 grand a month. Why? Because they want to build another one. They want to go to 200 grand a month. So the program is for people who want to earn more than they have right now, a lot more. Is that clear to everybody? Whether you're doing customers or recruiting, or whether you have your own program, it doesn't matter what it is. You want to give something to someone else, and the byproduct of doing something for someone else that they want, whether it's thinking or painting the house or, you know, whatever, or showing them an income option, they give you money for that because they want that. Our whole economy is based on people consuming stuff that they want that they don't have. You want to be in a position where what you have, certain people want. Okay, so decide. This is first thing we're going to show you how to do. Remember, we talked about what do we have to do? Here's the thing. Okay, what are 3 things we have to do for you to get results? We got 5, and here they are. Number 1 is we're going to show you how to decide who you can help with what. If you don't know how to decide, and you cannot, how many of you have delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed, right? How many of you have said, oh, I'm going to start the business next week? Now I'm going to start tomorrow. And every night you go to bed and you didn't really connect with anybody because it's like, oh, I didn't have time, and you procrastinate and you delay. How many of you are guilty? Who's guilty? Who's guilty? Okay. If you do not decide, you're screwed until the day you die. And you delayed right until the very end. And then it's too late. So we're going to show you how to get off the dime and decide. Once you decide, the freedom that comes with the decision is incredible. Ask Vicki. We think, should we do this or should we do that? No, why? We should do this. No, and then we decide, like, yes. And then you completely blast off. It's like all the engines go on one of those rockets that you watch Elon's stuff taking off. There is no looking over here and looking over there. Are you crazy? Thousands of eyes are right there. And that thing goes up. And it lands. You should go to his Twitter channel and see what they do. It's so beautiful. You cry. Nobody's ever done what he's done. Same with Steve Jobs. We want to help you become that person. And that, what does it take? Decide. Okay, that's number one. And what is a decision? Who you can help with what. Okay, we got that. And we have little attractor formulas. So this is what we're going to do for you. See, give it to you, make you do it, practice it, learn how to use it. Second thing is we're going to show you how to spread seeds. Remember the story in the Bible about the sower? There comes the sower. He's going to spread seed. What happens to the seeds? Some of them, what happens to them? Who knows? What happens to some of those seeds? Do they all land and do they all grow into a big oak tree? Yes or no? Do all the seeds bear fruit? Yes or no? They're throwing the seeds, right? Remember the story of the sower? Who knows the story? No, of course not, right? Why not? What happens? The birds get them. It falls on rocky ground or it starts to grow and then thorny stuff comes up around, chokes little baby plants, right? But what does he do? He keeps on sowing. And we're going to show you a sowing blueprint to show you where to sow so that you're sowing constantly in the places where the people are likely to be who share your beliefs about the direction that you're going in, and your business is part of what makes that happen. Does that make sense? Say yes. You got it? All right, next. Third thing, we have a self-selection application form. It's a very interesting, it's disguised. It's a wonderful PDF. We have somebody who's not here right now. She'll be here tomorrow for our big 4-hour gig. It's called a virtual magnet checklist. And you make these. We're going to show you the template so you know how to make it and put these out there. They're like little fuzzy ball mouse traps. Sometimes we call them gumball machines. The people that are attracted can't help it. They go right in there and they get their hands stuck and then that's it. And they love it. So we help you do this. It's the third thing we do with you. Okay. The fourth thing is, this is Vicki's specialty. We show you how we have some software that you're going to get access to the output of the software, and it creates the final set of questions. It's kind of like the $64,000 question or one of those kind of programs. And now for the final questions, right? And everybody's on their seat. This is what this is. And people love to go through it and they fill it in. And those who pass, right? Like they get a high score on the SAT. This is our SAT for getting into Harvard, Stanford, MIT, those exams. Because we want only people that are committed to the mission, to the path. You see that? Because that's all we're going to talk to. Vicki's a good friend. I wouldn't let her talk to trash. Why would you do that? She doesn't even, what? Are you kidding? So even if everybody doesn't sign up, every conversation is a genuine, true person who wants to be better than they are right now and is willing to put in the work. And they're at different stages of their life. And some of them just, boom, they have a ton of money. And some of them go for financing. And some of them are ready next month or 6 months later. But we have a template for the advisor conversation. And what happens is this generates bookings on your calendar. We'll show you how to set up a calendar. You have the conversational template. So you learn how to do it for what you're doing. Does that make sense? And then guess what? Then you're going to have new problems. You're going to have a team. You're going to go, well, how do you manage the new team? Well, we're going to show you. Where should I go on vacation? Well, we'll show you some options. You can choose where you want to go. Who do you want to donate money to? Because you're going to have some money now. Oh my goodness, right? Which crypto are you going to buy? Where NFTs are you going to futz with? These are new problems you're going to have. Would you like to have these problems? Yes or no? Who wants to have these problems to deal with? So that's our little process here that I kind of sneak to you. So notice that's right here. See, that's the 3 things. I gave you 5 things that we have to do for you to help you get the results. See that? That's what we did here. So the next step. You want to know the next step? It's going to be easy. We're not going to sell you anything here. You can't even buy anything. Did you know that? You can't buy a single thing. You know, right? Okay, Cheryl, here's what you do. You see this, Vic? Would you stick this in the group? Go. There are 2 steps. One is you go to maxout.com/pick-me. It's a little form, a short little application form, so that we know kind of something about you and see if we can help you. Now, if you look in the group, Vicky's going to put that in there. I am so conscious of the shortness of life. You know, I've lived a long time and I know I'm not going to be here forever. And the last thing I want to do is delay making a decision that can really change income, not only for me, but for a lot of other people, particularly the women who are dependent really on husbands and on parents. And, you know, because the women got stuck with kids. And it's kind of how it is. So how can you go off and do work? How can you go off and hunt bear when you're supposed to be the fabric of the society, like we all are, and support each other and collaborate and be on the same side, be on the same team? But you have got to be financially independent. And you've got to think independent and be financially independent and learn how to leverage your time. So you're not talking to every Tom, Dick, and Harry, making friends and hoping that they're going to do something. That's just crazy. There's no way to make it the way the model is taught in this world. It's not that it has never been done. It has. I've been in it for almost 30 years. I have friends. I have one girl. I have a lot of friends who are at the top. One girl did it all with newspaper ads years ago, and they're still making it, you know. They ran newspaper ads. There are other people who have done it with friends. There's one girl we know who is about 120,000 a month. And she, over the first year, talked to people that she knew in her physical therapy business. And it happened that each of those people ended up with multiple 6 figures in their network marketing businesses. And she happened to sponsor those people. So does it never happen? No. But if you want to increase the odds, leverage, especially now that everybody's selling something, you want leverage so that you're looking for people who are on the same path anyway. And they just want a business to represent that, to generate income, right? Or to be part of a community where we're trying to right a wrong, or find ways to stay healthy without getting 15 shots. I mean, you know, I don't know what side you're on, but somehow forcing people to do stuff like that, where we don't really know exactly the outcome. You know, I mean, I got shots for measles when I was like 3 or something, measles, I think. And my brother had one for something. I know I saw a little thing on his arm when he was like, when we were 5 or 6 years old. But it's gotten to the point where it's a little bit scary, you know, both sides. And financial independence is for sure a marvelous first step ticket for you to be able to say, well, you know, I'm going to do this, or I'm not going to do that. Because if you don't have it, you're cooked. Okay. So go there. You'll see this little form. Okay. It's a little application. We just want to know what you're doing. Many people who come in have just started getting serious and are now deciding what they can do for whom and what movement they want to lead. And we want to help people who have movements to lead and who are called to lead movements. And we want to help you because we're called to do that ourselves. That's why we're here. Okay. Then once you do that, you fill out that form. And you can pick a time, and then you're going to make a date with our senior enrollment advisor, and she's right here. That's Vic. And that's what's going to happen. You talk to her, and she'll ask you some questions, basically about, you know, things like, what do you want to achieve with your business? When do you want to achieve it? And what are the biggest obstacles in your way to doing that? And for many people, they've just delayed and delayed and delayed because they don't want to talk to everybody they know, and they don't want to pretend to make friends when, you know, you just want to get them to buy stuff from you. And so you want to have ways of doing that where that's not what you do. So if you're somebody who says, okay, I'm going to get off, I want help making a decision, who I can help, what I can do for them, how to get it out there, how to seed the earth so that the people who are of like mind come, and that you only talk to people who are interested in buying what you have. Then when you talk to 10 people, you get 5 or 6 who say yes. And the others might not be yes today, but they might be yes some other time, or might refer people, versus talking to 100 people and maybe getting 1 yes, who then refunds a week later. Right? Who wants a business like that? So this is what we have for you. Is that good? Do you have any questions for me?
But
Okay.
any questions? She's here, the Momo woman.
All right, you see this one here? You can text this number right here. It's
Yep.
a Northern California number. You just use it and text her to make a date. Yeah, it's just, it's all decisions. And one of the worst things about decisions is that when you decide, once you decide, other things, are very difficult because you can't do 5 things at once. And a lot of people say, oh, you just want to do one thing at once. And that's really the way it is. One big thing that is your great mission. And throw yourself into it, because when that rocket goes up, all effort is in that one rocket that goes up. Nobody can be focusing on, the car, and, let's do, this or that. Everything has to focus right there. And that's how great fortunes are built. John Rockefeller built one company, Standard Oil. Now, some of you're going to tell me, oh, Elon must have 2 companies. He did, but he started with one. He started with the battery, the Tesla. The whole idea was, can we change a battery so that it can be way smaller and give way more life, longer lasting, and create a car that is not only not ugly, but is the most beautiful thing ever seen and the fastest thing ever seen. And it has a battery that's much smaller. So people they're proud, they're not embarrassed to drive. It's kind of like health food. A lot of people say, yeah, healthy food doesn't taste good. There's always a give and a take. And that's true. Now, if you read Dr. Heidi's book, The Crazy Eating, you'll know that health food tastes better than crap food. It does. You have to know what to eat. And it's those distinctions that we can help you make, so you find your people for your movement and help your people move ahead. Because that's what you're doing when you're building a business. You start with products usually, and you can build too if you are strong. And what we like to do is, the way we see it, is we are looking for missionaries. Well-paid, rich missionaries. That's who we're looking for our experimental teams that we do. We've done it for years. How many years gone, Vic? 15, 20, like that?
Yeah, at least.
And that's always what it is. It's people who are so anxious to spread the word that they don't know how to stop talking. We have to tell them, stop talking to the wrong people. Talk to these people. Oh, okay. And then they get the orders. But if you're missionary driven, because the cause means so much to you, and you help people along the way, money is a side effect of that. You can't help it. Now you have to learn how to ask for it. Some of you are kind of you think Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa made a lot of money. Don't think for 1 minute that Mother Teresa was in the poorhouse. You got to be kidding. There was some years ago, I read a biography of one of the nuns that was there, and she wasn't very complimentary about Mother Teresa, but she lived there. And one of the things she said is, we had a switchboard, and calls would come in, of people who wanted to see Mother Teresa, and, because she was getting up in years. And Mother Teresa did a lot. Everybody knows her name, she did a lot. And so this one of the switchboard calls came through, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago. And some guy said, yeah, my name is, Ho-Ha, and I just am checking because I sent her a check for 50,000, and I was just wanting to be sure that it got there. And what the nun was standing there, and she had brought lunch to the telephone operators at the switchboard, And the switchboard operator representing Mother Teresa's church, the diocese, she said, oh, which one were you? Which one were you? $50,000 check. She got so many of them 20, 30 years ago. That was probably worth 100 grand now. And they had to say, oh, sir, oh, I don't know. Which one were you? They had a lot of money. People love giving money to committed people. Did you know that? They love giving money to committed people. When they see you're committed to a cause, it's like, I just want to give money to it. That's what investors, venture capital people, what do they look for? People that are totally committed to the path. That's who they give it to. It's not the product. No, it's not how much they think they can make. It's the people. Why? Because if the people crap out as soon as they make 100 grand and they run away, it'll never get off the ground. So they're people, they always invest in the teams. And that's the commitment, the decision that those boys and girls have made to do something to make a difference. That's what, at all levels. And once in a while you get a lucky story. So what? So once in a while somebody wins a lottery. If that's how you want to plan your life, you can. But I would do something like John Rockefeller said. His brother went gambling, and one now and then he'd come home and win some money. And he said, look, John, I want all this money. And John and Rockefeller would tell his brother Frank, who was all, kind of an alcoholic gambler. So, well, save some of it. And next time you go to the casino, don't take it all. So you'll save some. But the brother, of course, wasn't going to listen to John D. Rockefeller. And so he took all his money each time. And every second or third time he lost not only everything, but went into hock more and had to go to John Rockefeller and say, would you bail me out because they won't let me in, and like that. Because you can't guarantee. What you can guarantee is if you put in the effort, you've got a market, you have a clear edge, so you know what you can do, and you put it out there, you're going to make people happy and they will pay you money for it. And I don't know what's more satisfying than that. So.
And you end your own suffering and you keep your self-esteem, bottom line.
Yeah, that's it. You're the boss, you can just say, you know what, that's what it's going to be. All right. Any questions from anybody? Are we set to go otherwise?
So,
you guys.
Bye. See you later.
We're good, Vic, right?
Always good. This is excellent. I love it. You did some new things here today, as you always do. It never gets boring. Thank you.
Thanks, girl.
You should charge for these things.
I'm thinking about that.
It's better than going to a movie or watching Netflix. Thank you so much. Thanks. Really. After 20 years of following you, I'm never bored. Thank you.
Ooh. Well, thank you too, girl.
All right. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.